Okay, so today we're going to be learning the next lesson in our Pythagorean theorem unit. And this time it's called the distance between 2 points. So before we get started, let's just briefly go over what Pythagorean theorem is and talk about what we've been learning. So just a brief reminder right here, Pythagorean theorem is based off of the idea that a right triangle is being formed by 3 squares. And the area of the 2 smaller squares adds up to equal the area of the bigger square. So that's where a squared plus b squared equals c squared comes from. A squared is representing the area of this square. B squared is representing the area of this square. And c squared is representing the area of the larger square. So that is what the formula is representing. We use Pythagorean theorem to solve for missing sides of right triangles, which is what we did Tuesday. And we also use it to see if it is a right triangle, and that's what we did yesterday. Today, we're going to be looking at 2 points on a coordinate plane. And you're going to be asked to find the distance between this point and this point. Well, if I connect these dots, and I probably should be using a ruler, but I'm not, I can't count the squares because it's a diagonal line and it's not falling flush on those squares. So I can't count it. But what I can do is I can connect this dot to this dot by making a right triangle. So the first thing you're going to do is make a right triangle. Now, this is super important that you're actually counting the sides that it would take to get down and over. So if I go from here to here, going straight down, you can't pass this dot up. Like, you have to go straight to it and not pass it up and straight over until you see that perfect little right angle right there. So you're just basically going to draw a right triangle. The side across from it is side C. So the diagonal is always C. So today we're always going to be solving for C. And then again, you can pick which side is A and B. It doesn't matter. So let's write our formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I need to count the distance from here to here. And it's just like when we did slope. You're just counting the squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4 squares for this side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares for this side. And then you're simply going to plug it into your formula, and it doesn't matter which side is A or B. So I'm simply going to do 4 squared plus 7 squared equals C squared. Remember that you can put this in your calculator all at one time. So if you go to your calculator, you're going to put in 4, and then remember the squared button is here, plus 7 squared, hit enter. Now remember, this is not your answer. 65 would be the area of a square. So if I drew a square over here, which you don't need to, but if I drew a square over here, 65 would be the area of that square. I'm looking for the side length. So to finish that next step, all you have to do is square root that number to get that side length. So the square root of 65, and remember the square root button is right here in blue, so you hit second square root 65, and then you would just round this answer, which would be like 8.06. Okay, let's do the next one. So in order to get from here to here, if you want to connect the lines, you can. And then you're just going to drop a line there and there. This is side C. You're looking for the distance from here to here. So go count these sides. I'll give you a second to do that. Okay, this side was 4, so if you look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. This side is 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're just going to write our formula down. And we're going to plug our numbers in. So we can pick which one's A or B. It does not matter. So I'm going to do 4 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. I'm going to add these together. Remember, that is not your answer. That is C squared. That is the area of a square. If I had a square over here, that's the area of it. So I must square root that number to get the side length of C. And then you're just going to round. You can round to the hundredths place value, whatever the assignment asks for. It might even ask for the closest answer, which would be 7. But if we're rounding to the hundredths, it's 7.21. Now this next picture, I always have students have issues with it because they pass up the other point. And I also have students ask me, does it matter if I drop a line up or down? Like, would I go from here up or from here down? It does not matter because your triangle sides are all still going to be the same length. It would just be flipped upside down, but it would be exactly the same. So to get from this point to this point, I have to go down over here or up over here. You pick which way you want to go. I'm going to go from here to here. I'm only going to drop down one spot because I'd be passing that line up if I went more. So that side length is going to be 1, and then from here over, I got to go count that. And then that side right here is, I really need a ruler. It's kind of like that. This is your side C, your distance between the 2 points. This is 1 unit, and then this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's write our formula. So I'm going to use either one. It doesn't matter which one's A or B. I'm going to do 1 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. 1 squared plus 8 squared is 65. Remember, that is not the answer because that is the answer to the area of the square that would be attached over here. You have to square root your answer. So the square root of 65 is 8.06 if I round. Okay, let's look at number 4. I want you to go draw the picture connecting these 2 dots, but making it a right triangle. So I always have students and they're going and drawing these crazy triangles. Remember, it has to be a right triangle. So your triangle can't look like this. That's not a right triangle. It has to have that beautiful right angle in one of its corners, okay? So you can't pass up the other dot. So if you want to go up this time, you could go down. So if you went down, leave it alone. You did a great job. But you could also go from the lower dot to the upper dot by going straight up and over. You're going to notice that our side lengths are the exact same, so it doesn't matter which way you go. Okay, so this is the side C. This side is 1 unit long, and this side is 3 units long. So I'm going to do A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I'm going to fill in these numbers. Doesn't matter which one's A or B. So 1 squared plus 3 squared equals C squared. Which is 10. Remember, that is not the answer. That's the side area of the square that's attached, so you have to square root it. And the square root of 10 is 3.16 if we round. Okay, let's flip to the back. Now, on this question, this is kind of a star formatted question, and wants you to graph all the points in the triangles, but I am going to teach you a trick about it. So basically it says you have this point X and it's located at -2, 1. Now if you're not good at graphing, then you're going to mess this up. So I'm going to teach you the trick. But everybody go to -2, 1. Remember that in a coordinate, this is the X, this is the Y. So on the X axis, go to -2. From there, you're going to go up 1 and put a dot. That is point X. Now it says that point X is translated. Translated is a fancy word for moved. So you basically are You're sliding it over. It's translated 5 units to the right. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to count 5 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to go 4 units down from where I'm at. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to make a new point right here. So they're basically asking, what is the distance between the 2 points? So it's exactly what we just did, but it wanted you to go graph that point and then move it over to make your new point. Now, if you count these side lengths, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 units, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. What you'll notice is that the amount of times you translate it, that's going to be the sides of your triangle. So, I mean, technically speaking, you don't have to go graph these. Like, it's not going to change it. It's just going to be a right triangle where the legs are 4 and 5, and you're solving for side C, which is known as the hypotenuse. So this is side C. And then you're simply going to write your formula, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And then you're going to plug in your numbers. So I have 4 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. And then I'm going to add these up, which is 41. Remember, that is not your answer. You have to take that and square root it to get the side length. 6.40 if we round to the hundredths place. Now, if it asks you what is the closest answer and it's multiple choice, then again, you're just rounding to the closest answer. So I could say it was about 6 units, but it's actually 6.4. Okay? So that is how you're going to find the distance between 2 points on a coordinate plane. Again, the whole key to this is making a right triangle out of that, out of those 2 points. Again, it doesn't matter which way you go. Like on this one, if I had chosen to go up and over, you're going to notice this is still 6, this is still 4, so it doesn't matter which way you go. Okay? Be careful and make sure that you're actually counting the units on the triangle. Okay, so if you would go into the Google Classroom and the teacher will pass out the answer document. Make sure that you're writing for your answers the alphabet letters like A, B, C, or D, because that's what I wrote on the key. You will still get your answers checked. Make sure that you get it fixed, and then submit and turn it into the box. When you are finished, you are to get on iExcel on the computer and find the topics over Pythagorean theorem and work on those. And that is your only options for today.